Required listening with Amazon Music.
Dad music again?
The greatest guitarist of all time.
Wait, who?
Alexa, add this song to a new playlist.
Sure, what's the new playlist name?
Jack's Intro to Classic Rock.
Adding Stepping Stone by Jimi Hendrix to Jack's Intro to Classic Rock playlist.
Amazon Music, the simplest way to listen to the music you and soon he will love. New customers start your 30-day free trial at amazonmusic.com. Renews automatically, cancel anytime.
Welcome to Define You Radio, the place to be for real talk and real tips to help you define your personal and professional life. Class is in session with your host, the Southern Belle of Bold, Valencia Griffin-Wallace. Pens and papers ready. Class is now in session.
Yes, well, hello, and welcome to the 2018 season of Define You Radio. I am your host, the Southern Belle of Bold, Valencia Griffin-Wallace. Define You Radio is the place to be to get all the life lessons, strategies, and more to help you define life on your own terms. It's like you're sitting in your living room with a glass of wine, cocoa, or coffee with your best girlfriend or girlfriends and just really enjoying life and learning some stuff. That's what Define You Radio is all about. So make sure you are subscribed and connected to all things you, including Define You Movement, where classes and sessions 7 days a week. You can find out more at defineyouradio.com. So this month's series is on unapologetic living, and class is definitely in session tonight with a special hot seat edition with two fabulous co-hosts that you guys will be hearing quite often to make it, mix it up, add a little more spice to the gumbo. They are two beautiful women who I love with their own movements because they're moving things on Copeland and Shannon Ward. I'll bring them on in a second because I want you to kind of get in your head what the hot seat is. It is something new for Define You Radio. So there will be topics and discussions, and, of course, we'll probably take questions. So make sure you stay tuned and connected. But tonight, we are talking all things Motherless Child. And if you're connected with me, you know Motherless Child is my best-selling book that was dropped February 6th. It's available at Amazon and on my website, valenciagwallace.com. We're getting down to the good, bad, and ugly things that were left out because guess what? My co-hosts have questions. So I'm taking not only the hot seat, but I'm taking the side seat to let them drill in with their questions. It's going to be an interesting night. Make sure you let your friends know so they can hop on. And if you have questions as we go along in the show, just press 1 on your phone. With that being said, let me go ahead and bring on my co-hosts to tell you a little bit about themselves. So, Shannon, you want to go ahead and kick it off. Who are you? What's your movement? What you're about? Go ahead.
So, good evening, everyone. My name is Shannon Shadon Ward. I go by Shadon. Singer, songwriter, author, speaker, daughter, sister, mother, friend, everything. Coach, I have my movement called FLY, and what that stands for is Finally Loving Yourself. I actually just released my first book myself entitled FLY as well, and it's taking you through my journey of how I learned how to love myself and what it really meant from a holistic standpoint. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to finally have Valencia on the hot seat. I'm excited about that. Yes, we have questions. And we are ready. So I'm excited to be here tonight, and thank you so much for having me.
Hashtag amen and oh Lord is all I got to say because I don't know what questions they have, guys. I am Yeah, it's going to be an interesting night, like I said. So, Miss Lyvonne, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience?
Hi, I'm Lyvonne Copeland, and I am author, a speaker, and teacher. And I love to say that I am your daily reminder to be selfish. I just offer you that motivational reminder to be selfish and to embrace who you are. The I Am Selfish movement is about not just owning who you are, but understanding whose you are so that you can be what you've been called to be in this world by identifying your purpose and finding that voice that will allow you to roar.
Hashtag amen one more again. So with that being said, ladies, both of you guys have read the book, so I want to know your thoughts. And this is where I hand the host reins over to you, Queen. So roll with it. Let's go.
So this is Shannon. I have to say I absolutely love the book. And what I loved about the book is because I am a creative person. I have a huge imagination. So when I read a book and I can actually see everything play out in front of my face, I'm drawn in. And it was actually so well written that I could see, like I can, without the book in front of me right now, I can still see pieces that stood out to me. I can see them rolling out, how it played out. I can see Valencia as the little girl, you know, with the knife in her hand going for his stepfather. I can see, you know, them at the funeral and not being able to get there. And I even had said to you, Valencia, one time before, I said, I felt like I wanted to scream, let them see. Why can't they see that's their mother? So, I mean, it was an absolutely amazing book. It really, it took you through every piece of the journey, and you didn't lose, you didn't get lost. You were able to follow along and able to actually see what was going on and to know what was happening, how she was thinking, how Valencia was feeling, you know, and it helps me to even understand why she is the woman she is today, just to a lot of degrees. It helps me understand that that's why she's so giving. That's why she's so bold. That's why she's so forthcoming, because of these experiences. So I think it was an absolutely amazing book, absolutely. Yes, I agree, Shannon. I mean, I think what this book offers in my reading, and I am an avid reader, I haven't seen this perspective. You know, a lot of times you hear about, you know, drug abuse from the actual person that has recovered, or you hear from a parent, you know, that's had to deal with seeing their child. And usually you hear an adult perspective, you know, how I lived growing up. But to see Valencia wrote this, it's like you hear that little girl. You hear, it's like that little girl is just sitting there in front of you and is telling you her story. And it's so vivid that, I mean, you are angry with her. You know, at moments, I mean, I'm like, I want to shake her mom. Like, you know, why are you doing this? You have these girls here. You know, why, you know, do you not realize what you're doing to your girls? So it just takes you to a place allowing you to feel the pain, allowing you to understand what was birthed in her through that process of what she had to endure into adulthood, why she's the way she is, like Shannon said. Now you have a clearer understanding of her passion, you know, why this is her passion, why she is driven, and why she has this desire just to see women, to see all people just excel in every area, regardless of your circumstance. Don't allow it to define you. And that book just brought all of those reactions out of me.
Yes. I don't know what to. Y'all got me like speechless. And I love it. I love that y'all talk about that. Y'all went through the experience of me, you know, living it. And one of the things that I have told many people, I cried all the emotions that I wrote in the book, I was reliving and feeling all over again. And so it was a whole lot of tears. And, in fact, I did honestly gain 10 pounds that stuck during this process of writing this book, because emotionally I almost felt handicapped. And I felt like I was that girl again. And it was kind of, I don't want to say hard to function during that period, but I was so emotionally that Valencia that it was a fight to be the Valencia I am now, if that makes sense. So thank you guys so much for those kind words. So what questions did you guys have? You know, what questions did you have about the book, or, you know, just anything relating to Motherless Child or the woman that I am now or was? Because let's roll with it. I'm ready.
well, your last statement rolls right into one of my first questions I had, because it is such a hard situation to talk about and even write about, and there are people right now that still have stories, but they're afraid. They have this fear that holds them from writing the story. But what was the defining moment that caused you to say, okay, I have to write this. I need to get this out?
Because, and that's a great question. When I wrote the book 10 years ago, I was still angry. You know what I'm saying? Like angry, like I still need to pay some people back. And if you read the book, you know I was talking about stabbing everybody. And I think 2 years ago, around 10 years ago, I was still at that place. So I wrote the book from a place of anger. There was like no healing, and I don't even think I really forgave my mom at that point. So when I rewrote it last year, it was hard. It was something I knew I had to do because it just seemed like the world was getting worse. And I had to get it out. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like when you get a mosquito bite and you just feel that need to itch it. I don't know what else to compare it to. But I had to get it out because I got tired of seeing people being judged by who they are, who they were, and who their parents were, their situations, or whatever. And people see me now as such a strong, confident woman, and I had to let them know, you know, people knew bits and pieces, but I had to let them know it was a fight to get here. And that's why when I do my lives, I'm coming at you, you know, with the mic. I'm coming at you gangster when I speak. Like you hear that passionate love in me because I know what it's like to feel like you the least of everything. And it's not even your fault. And so I had to put it down because people needed to know that it's whatever you go through, it is quite okay. Don't let people judge you or make you feel any kind of way. And, you know, people respect me who I am now and understand that you could get from A to Z, but it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a fight. And I felt like people needed that real raw voice, not that sugar-coated, you know, and everything else, because I think a lot of times people are sugar-coating or they're trying to sell it, you know, give me $1,000 and I'll help you heal. No, this is a whole different thing. And so I had to put it on paper because sometimes when you're broken, you don't want to talk to nobody else. But I could at least read a little bit. Woo! Hashtag amen.
Amen. Amen.
So, did that answer the question, Shannon? I went left, right, and sideways.
No, you did. You were fine. You were fine with that.
Okay.
But what you were saying, you put the book down, and it took you a while before you were able to pick it back up. Can you say, was there a pinpoint moment, or was there something that happened in your life that told you, I am ready now? that you was really ready? You know, you said you were tired of people, you know, you just wanted to, but did some, you know how you have those stressors or that trigger something,
Right.
say, you know what, this is it.
It was great question again. Goodness, y'all was ready. I think it was more I was getting older, and I knew the story needed to be told. Like, I knew that for several reasons. I didn't want my son to think that, you know, this grandmother he ever knew was just a crackhead, right? And I didn't want my mom to just be another unsolved murder in Baton Rouge, you know. And I didn't want, like, a book could reach way more people than I will ever meet and speak to. And there was no, like, particular click. I think it was a growing process, and then all of a sudden you realize you're grown and you're healed and you needed to do this. Because it's actually been on my official, quote-unquote, to-do list the last 2 years. But one of the things that I said is that I wasn't going to publish the book until my grandmother passed. And at the time that I said this 2 years ago, I had no idea my grandmother was going to get sick and pass away last year. So when she passed, I was able to be honest. I was able to really tell the story without worrying about, you know, my grandmother feeling some kind of way or getting third-party information from people that assume what the book is about, you know, in my family, because that has happened before. And I wanted to be free to write, free to be honest, free to get it out. So when my grandmother passed July of last year, there was a few things that happened to let me know it was time. My grandmother passed, and a month after she died, I just wanted a piece of her jewelry to put in the jewelry box she gave me. And the one thing my grandmother always wore, never took off, was her class ring from, like, before I was born. She never took that ring off. But, like, a month before she died, her body got swollen, so she couldn't wear it. And my family had looked for that ring from the moment she died. Like, they looked for it. But I went to her house like a month later, and I opened her jewelry box, and that ring was sitting right there.
Wow.
So to me, that gave me an okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so then the same moment I was there, you know, my family was going through my grandmother's stuff, and they found a tablet with poems my mom wrote back in, you know, around, I would say probably before she started doing drugs or around the same time, that I was able to publish. And see, had I pulled the trigger and published it before, I would not have had those.
Wow.
So to me, it was like, because I was even debating with it around that time. But the ring and finding my mom's poems, it was like, okay, it's time to pull the trigger and hit the target. It's time to do this. It's time to do it. Time to do it. No more excuses. It's time to do it. So that was the trigger, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's beautiful, though, because it's almost like they gave, you know, their voice, a part of them told you, okay. They released you to go ahead and move forward with the book. That is, like, awesome.
Yes,
wow.
yes. Mm-hmm. Now, I do want to know, because, you know, reading it, a lot of people, and I'm sure people read it now and still would say, how? You know, how did you move past that? But not even just how. Has there ever been a moment where you sat down with you know, you had your aunt and your cousin that there was this thing with them? Was there ever a moment you sat down with them and asked them, like, why? Why was your treatment towards me this way?
Oh, good question.
Who's saying that I wasn't ready? I wasn't ready, Lord. No. And I'm going to tell you why. You can't have conversations with people that feel like they did nothing wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So, and honestly, like me being 100, there's nothing that they can say to undo what happened. There's nothing that they can say where I feel like it would excuse how I was treated. And then let's just be honest about a few things in families, especially in the black community, and I can't speak for other communities because I'm black and my family's black. But there's a lot of things that we don't discuss. And in what I find is like with people that did different things in the book, there was never discussions. Now, I would have called people out. I've called people out, like when I talk about being touched,
mm-hmm.
you know, and
mm-hmm.
I've said to my family, you know, when they ask, you know, why I wouldn't bring my son around or why I wouldn't do this, I'm sorry, you know, no, I'm not sorry. Like, I'm sorry and not sorry, but I'm not going to sit here and break bread with someone that touches children.
Right.
And that would be me. Those are the things I would say, you know, and the only discussions that would happen from that is, girl, that was so long ago. He ain't like that no more. Get over that and everything else. So you can't have discussions with people that don't feel like they did anything wrong. Even with this book, because it has came back to me, third party, mind you, which is why I didn't write it before my grandmother passed, that some people are mad about it. And I have to kind of take the attitude of, you know, it's okay that you're mad, but tell me that I'm a lie. Nobody can say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Woo! Y'all starting a fire. We ain't even 30 minutes in. Now, and I'll be honest. I honestly got a half-hearted apology from my aunt years ago, before I even started rewriting the book or even thought about rewriting it. But it, like I said, it was half-hearted because I don't treat her like I treat my other aunts or uncles or so on and so forth. So I was like, you know, okay, and moved on.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, like I love my aunt and my cousin. You know, I even love, you know, the person that violated me because we are called to love. Now, I don't have to like you.
Right.
Those are my feelings. You know, but I do have to have love. I do have to love. And, you know, if someone went to do something to my aunt to this day, regardless of how she treated me, you got to deal with me.
Right.
Because that's still, at the end of the day, that's still my aunt, and I have to allow her, no matter how hard it is, Lord, you have to sometimes allow people grace. And I posted that in the group. I could, you know, forgiveness is one thing. Oh, I could forgive you and move on. Grace to me is a whole other, because that means something different. And I have to allow her to be human. And I have to allow myself not to feel like she should have been held to a certain standard, you know, right, wrong, or whatever. Now, will I ever have a quote-unquote normal relationship with her? I doubt it very seriously. Because then I go back to my original statement. You can't have discussions with people that kind of really don't feel like they did anything wrong.
Uh-huh.
True.
Yeah, that is true.
So when you got ready to write the book, did you have a conversation with your son about what was coming out, or how did he know this before you actually wrote the book, or did you allow him to read the book once it was finished to give him some insight of what to be prepared for, or had y'all had that conversation?
Well, we actually, my son he'll be 21 Friday. So as he got older in life, I was able to start telling him certain things, because I wanted him to know why I would not really take him around my family. So I told him things at the age level I felt he could handle certain things. And so when I started writing the book, I talked to him, let him know, hey, I'm finally writing a book. And like I said, I didn't want him feeling like something was wrong with him or in his DNA because his grandmother was a drug addict. So I was able to have those conversations with him and tell him, even though she was like this, she still did this. And, of course, me and my husband had those conversations. So that way, when both of them walked into my office, I was up here crying and typing, they knew what was going on. They knew. And the only other person who I talked to before I decided to go ahead and publish the book was my sister, to get her permission, to let her know, hey, this is what's going on, this is what I'm doing, and to get her permission to publish my mom's poems in the book, because that was our mom, and I wanted her, I didn't want, even though, I could have did it anyway without asking her. I have the poems, I'm the oldest, I could have justified that a million different ways, but I wanted her to feel like she had a say-so in something I was doing having to do with our mom. So, yes, ma'am.
Wow. Definitely. So, now, and I mentioned it earlier, for whatever reason, I think this part in the book really stood out to me because, I don't know, I guess I know how I would feel. So I'm wondering, not being able to actually go up and see your mom in her coffin. They closed it and you and your sister just there. They didn't even care to let y'all come and just to see her that last time. Has that had a major impact on you in the years after that?
To this day, it still does, to some extent, honestly. And it almost seemed like a surreal moment. And people that have read the book or people that know that happened can't believe it, Like, who does that? And it was, when it happened, it was kind of like in slow motion, like I was there and I wasn't. Because I just knew they were going to open it back up. Like, you couldn't tell me they were not. How are you not? What do you mean you're not going to open it up? Like, what do you mean? So I think that created a new wound that could never be closed, honestly. That created a new wound because I didn't get a chance to, say that final, goodbye. I'm her kid. I mean, it's sad that everybody at the doggone funeral, because, at funerals you start with the friends, then the extra relatives and everything else. So once again, me and my sister were being put last, even in this last moment. Because the friends had all went and said goodbye, and some of the extended family started going. But then when it came to our turn, there was no turn.
Wow.
And they would not open it back. Because other people acting a fool. But hold on, this is my mom. That still makes me, you could still, that still, burns to this day. So I was angry because I looked at it like the main people that downed her and talked about her and treated us any kind of way took this last moment from me. Oh, yeah, I was angry for a whole lot of years behind that. Because that is, that is something that can't be undone. And that's something sometimes it still honestly bothers me, even though, here it is 20-plus years later. But still, I remember that part. If I forgot everything else from my mom's funeral, I will never forget them closing that casket. We didn't have the right.
Yes.
Our voices didn't matter. I was 17, my sister was 16. We didn't matter. Again. Whew, Jesus. And call us if you're on the line and have questions. Feel free to press 1 and we could get you on the show. We're talking all things Motherless Child. If you're listening online, you can make comments on Define You Radio's Facebook page. And, yeah, it's a very interesting discussion. And if you haven't got the book, go to bit.ly/Motherless Child, and it'll take you to the Amazon link. So y'all roll with it. Y'all got me in my feelings. Eyelashes on, like,
Well, since we're speaking about the funeral, there was one another moment that really stood out to me in the book, at your mother's funeral. And it was the moment when you stood up and you were saying you wanted to speak and you were trying to get the words to come out. But the statement that your mother had told you 3 weeks prior what you would speak at her funeral, it's like she had prepared you for that moment. When you had to write that part, I mean, that's powerful to know that now I'm standing here and I'm already prepared to say. Just tell us that moment. Take us to that moment for you.
Ooh, y'all not playing no games. I am literally on the hot seat tonight. Jesus, that moment, even having that conversation with her, 3 weeks before she died. And it was crazy because I was going through all kind of turmoil. At that point, I ran away. I was like, I'm done with it and everything else. And I just thought it was quite funny that they brought my mom to try to make me go back to living with them, But my mom very much, regardless of whether she was, high at the moment or not high or whatever, my mom always had she was always in her right mind. You know what I'm saying? So but I could tell different things she did, whether she was high or not, but she was always in her right mind. So somebody else that didn't know her wouldn't know. But when she told me, if I die, I want you to say this at my funeral. Like, what? What are you talking about? I'm thinking, okay, here it is. My mom just got drugged by a car, I think a week or two before that, and was scratched up and scraped up and everything else. I'm like, this woman is Superwoman. Nothing's going to, end this drug problem, honestly. That was my thing, because I'm like, if you get drugged by a car, and you didn't die and you didn't stop doing drugs, I was just like outdone, and I really wasn't trying to hear her. Who wants to hear when someone's saying that? So I'm thinking it was just this crazy, crazy moment, and I didn't know it was that last conversation.
Wow.
I didn't, and I wasn't ready. But then that conversation I had with her came to my mind, and it just didn't seem right. It didn't seem fair. I was 17.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But it had to be done. And
wow.
That's like a kind of a summary of my life. Excuse me. That's kind of a summary of my life. It may have been hard and ugly, and people have asked me, girl, how did you live through this? I just did. And that was the thing at the funeral. I didn't have a choice. I had to, because I wasn't going to, I didn't want it to be like, oh, it's, we at Grizz's funeral, because that's what everybody called my mom. We at Grizz's funeral, and them drugs finally got her, and, nothing, everybody with their own feelings. No, I want you to hear from her own mouth what she said. And no one could take that from her, because her last words that her child heard was, no matter what, I always love my girls.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
it just really feels like you've given your mother a voice. Not only at her funeral, you were able to give her a voice, but then through your writing and being able to publish her poems, it's like you are still allowing her to be heard. And it's like just beautiful. Wow.
Yes. Absolutely.
It was, thank you. And that was because as of today, my mom's murder is still unsolved.
Wow.
And that bothers me to some extent, and some extent it doesn't, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I don't want to say it doesn't matter, but, I'm past the point of, like, I want to find out who killed my mom so I could kill them, because, of course, I went through that, and then I went through a point of, well, I wonder, and it was so crazy because for the longest time, my mom always carried this little clear purse, and she had, like, my prom picture in there, a picture of my sister, and, probably some lip gloss and other stuff, but I remember she had the picture. So for the longest time, I'm like, I'm wondering if whoever killed her, like, took her purse and know what me and my sister look like.
Oh, wow.
Because from what I know, but mind you, me and my sister pretty much didn't know anything, still don't. We don't know what may have been found with her or not. I don't know if her purse was found or if the person, shot her and took off with her purse and know what me and my sister look like. Like, that bothered me. So me in my gangster G-baby mode, like, okay, I got to find out who killed my mom so I could find them, because they, ain't nobody going to do nothing to my sister. Ain't nobody going to do nothing to my baby sister. And, like, that was my mindset. But I knew I couldn't go to jail because my sister was still underage, right? So that was not an option then. So at some point in my life, my sister, just knowing that she's there, I couldn't have her lose, my dad was gone, and my mom had been killed, and then her sister's in jail. She'd have nobody for real.
Wow.
And so I left it alone, and I don't know if maybe one day I may go and, try to investigate and see if they could find out anything, find out what did they find with her, find out, see if we could, find out who killed her or whatever. I don't know. But the most important thing to me was for people to realize she was more than somebody on drugs living in a crack house. She was more than what the news said, and it made me so mad because for the longest time I was like, I'm going to go to the news station and cut up. How dare you say, just talk about it so casually like the weather. Dead body found, Lord have mercy, in the ditch with 2 gunshot wounds to the head. She was living a high-risk lifestyle. I don't know if they say that as much. I don't pay attention. I don't watch the news. But somebody living a high-risk lifestyle, going outside your house today is high risk.
That's true.
But does that excuse a murder? At the end of the day, she was 34. She was like just 34. I was working on coming to my senses at 34,
Yeah.
But at 34, I hadn't did like anything. And so you don't really realize how young that is until you pass that age. And I was like, she got to have a voice because she was so much more than that. In between doing drugs, before that she wrote, and if you read her poems, and I didn't publish all of them, but if you read them, you could kind of hear the heartbreak in her words.
Yeah.
And that was hard for me because I wanted to make some phone calls. You know what I'm saying? Like, who hurt her like this? Yeah.
Exactly.
Still working on y'all. You know, was that the trigger? What was the triggers for her to start doing drugs? You know,
Yeah.
because there was a lot of similarities in my mom's life and mine. There was like a whole lot, but I was just a different kind of person. I was just different. I don't want to say I was stronger than her. I just think emotionally, because my dad's side is very different from my mom's side. So I think emotionally that may have been the difference. Also, the fact I have no tolerance for drugs, which is why I almost overdosed on over-the-counter medicine. You know, so God made me this way for a reason. That's why on the title it says somebody had to be here to tell the story. Because sometimes I wonder, Lord, how I'm still here. Because I did some stuff that was not in the book. You know?
Well, I mean, you had some close encounters in the book. I mean, really.
Oh, yeah.
You had some close encounters in the book. So, yes, you are a fighter.
Yes, yes.
It was crazy, guys. It was crazy. It's like, I don't even, like, to me, there wasn't an option. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't like a coward. You know, you can't be scared of anybody that gets jumped in the gang in, like, 6th grade. You know, like, pretty much at this age, I've done it all. There's no, you know, nothing that I could say I'm scared of besides lizards. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. That's like it. I don't know why. But it's like, because I've tried death. You know, I feel like I've called death's hand. Like, come get me. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
But at the end, that fighter in me just was not having it. I got hit by a car. You know, I didn't put that in the book, you know. And the people didn't hit me on purpose. I would just say that. I don't think they did because I didn't know them. But I got hit by a car walking home in the rain, and I literally, like, I got up. I got hit by the car. It's funny thinking about it because it's funny and sad, but this was my mentality. I just got up, cussed those people out, and started trying to walk home.
Oh, my Lord.
Like, limping, scraped up, soaking wet and all. You know, because I had already, when I got up from that ground, and it was on, if you from Baton Rouge, it was out walking home from Goodwood Library to Wooddale, where my grandmother lived. So if you from Baton Rouge, you know where I'm talking about. And I was walking down that road, and then people hit me in the rain, and I hopped up, like, limping, planning these people murder already. Like, these people hit me. But they made me lay down. The ambulance came. I knew I was going to die in the ambulance because they had strapped my neck to the, whatever you call the little thing, the little board thing. And I'm crying and talking, cussing, and planning these people murder at the same time. And I was like in, between 8th and 9th grade then. So when I say, I've realized that the devil has tried to take me out, and a lot of times he was using me against me, because then nobody would have got healing from this book. I was trying to kill myself. Like, who stands in the face of somebody with a gun and say, you're going to shoot me in my face? Like, you know? And I had to realize that, like, the devil was really trying to take me out. And I was making it easy because I didn't care if I lived or died. I was going to kill everybody. That, you know, you hurt me, I didn't care about you. I didn't care about me. I didn't care about nothing. And that's why I sympathize with people that's like in that dark place. Because when you in that dark place and you can't see, you don't know what to fight. So you fight everything because you can't see. Jesus, Lord.
I often tell people it's like boxing blindfolded, just swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And it feels like ain't nobody understand that. Or people don't want to talk about it. That'll be the best way to say it, because we want to act like, I wake, pray, and slay every day. Okay, well, I honestly, to this day, I don't have days like that all the time. I will wake up, and I will pray, and sometimes the prayer don't catch me like I need it to, and I don't feel like slaying anything. And I start feeling the shadow of life come on me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not dark, but I start feeling those shadows, and then those voices, will come back. You still that girl that did this. You still that. What you did ain't nothing, and you deserve the life you had, and your mama was this, and your mama was that, and everything else. So I say all that to say, even though, the book is like, yay, life. But it's not going to be every day like yay life, and you have to constantly fight. And that's the one thing. If people take nothing else from the book, I want them to learn that you have to constantly fight. Period. That's why everything I do, I'm talking about, fighting this or ninja chopping this or whatever. Like, you got to be a warrior these days. And sometimes the war starts and ends in your mind.
Yeah.
Okay, so I that's my 2 cents.
No, you're talking the truth there. You are absolutely talking the truth. Absolutely. But let me ask you this, because this is the question most people want to know. How did you begin the healing process, and what was the hardest part of that?
How did I begin? I would say, when I talk about the incident where I was about to overdose, right? Healing happened accidentally on purpose, if that makes sense. Because like, I was just trying to learn what life was, because all I knew was how to survive. Surviving is easy for me. I'm a warrior. But learning how to live meant that I had to let stuff go. Hold on, I'm justified for hating this person. I feel I could justify a whole lot of stuff. I could, justify it, but it wasn't helping me. So I had to learn how to start. Just, Valencia, you can't change it. You can't, and that was one of the hardest things for me to accept. Because if you know me, I'm very, I'm not going to say names. I'm not going to call names, but people will call me drill sergeant and different things like that, because I own it. Own it. I like to know X, Y, Z and everything else. And so for me to realize that I can't control something or go back and do something about something, then that bothers me. But I had to start learning to let go. The hardest part of healing, so it was a process, I say that. So I started walking and talking to myself, and, Valencia, you are this, you are that, life is good, life is great, and that was definitely not the truth at the time. But you have to believe the cliche, I guess, that, speak it, believe it, all that kind of stuff, like it is true. And you may find yourself feeling stupid and not believing it and everything else, but I'm telling you, eventually speaking life to yourself, you put it out, it's going to come back into you.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to, I think the hardest part of that was admitting that I hated my mom. I had I blamed her for everything. Because, see, if she wouldn't have cheated on my dad, if she wouldn't have messed with that man, if she wouldn't have started drugs, if she didn't, it was like all if she didn't. And so, of course I hated her. Everybody else had a normal childhood. But I had to realize that was part of the process, which that was something I never wanted to say or admit out loud, but it's a perfectly natural reaction.
Right.
To the person that's supposed to love you unconditionally, love you the most, didn't fulfill their end of the bargain. And so I had to learn to forgive her. I had to, number one, admit that. I had to learn to forgive her, and I had to learn who she was outside of drugs, and think about that. Because, see, if you got 60 minutes, and of those 60 minutes, only 1 minute is good, it's easy to focus on the 59 bad ones.
Yes.
So I had to focus on those 1 minute increments that she was like actually a mom, and that helped in the process. And one of the things that was crazy that I really didn't realize, I had to forgive me. Because I felt guilty, because I felt like, big bad G-baby, I should have been stronger. I should have been able to stop her from doing drugs. I should have been able to hurt everybody that hurt her. I should have defended her. I should have did this. I should have did that. I'm G-baby. You know what I'm saying? So I should have been able to take care of my sister. I should have been a better sister. I should have hurt my stepdad and just went to juvenile, because then maybe my mom and my sister would have been all right. I should have did this. I should have did that. I felt guilty for things I had no business feeling guilty about.
But something you just said, Valencia, was like really, really powerful. And I don't think that people may have caught that, or people may not understand the impact of what you just said, that you had to be okay with saying that you hate your mom in order to get to that place where you could forgive her. Because I think so often, we want to get to the process, go ahead and get to forgiveness, where, I want to forgive people so I can be free. But I think we forget that point, that you have to admit that you really don't like it, that you really hate it, that you're mad and that you're angry. And especially for young people, you think about, that's why I say your book is going to be like so freeing for so many people, because you have kids that have lived or that are currently living in environments that you describe in your book. And they know, like you said, it's my mom. I don't supposed to hate my mom. I don't supposed to hate my dad. My dad left me. If you want to get to that place of forgiveness, and I think what you said was like powerful, because people don't realize there is that healing that takes place when you can say those words.
Mm-hmm.
Because no one ever thought you would actually say that.
Right. Because
Wow.
Excuse me. Who says that?
Yeah.
Who says that? And then if you grew up how I grew up, thinking a thought was going to send me to hell. I'm in Louisiana. Thou shalt honor thy mother or father. You going straight to hell. Ain't no $200 when you pass go.
Yes.
So it's like I had to deny my feelings. I had to deny how I felt. And if you deny how you feel, you can't heal from it.
Yes.
Wow,
so
that's
powerful.
I could never talk to somebody and say, I don't like my mother doing drugs. That really, that helped.
That's powerful.
Right.
It didn't help, no.
I never forget, they sent me to and I'm using the infamous sent me to therapy to help me deal with my mama's drug problem. And this was before she died. The therapist told me, write down how you feel as you're feeling it. What? Is this gonna make my mama stop doing drugs? Like, I'm confused why I'm here, sir. Mind you, I always had a smart, direct to the point mouth. Instead of saying, Valencia, how do you feel about your mom? This is a safe place to be honest. I hate her. I hate that she cheated on my dad. I hate that she was so, weak that she started doing drugs. I hate me and my sister got to live with other people. Because if you say that, oh, no, don't say that. Just pray for her. Just pray for her. Because, in the Bible it says, well, Show me in the Bible where it talks about drug abuse.
Oh.
Right?
Exactly.
Mic drop?
Exactly. Wow.
So the Bible doesn't specifically address this situation. That's not in the Ten Commandments.
Wow.
So show me how can I get to the healing from the Bible if I can't even admit to something the Bible doesn't address? That I was parentless. I was an orphan. Because remember, my dad never showed up. That's a whole other book. You know?
Oh.
So I was an orphan legally and technically because me and my sister were minors, but yet and still I couldn't say that I hated what my parents did to me because I was going to go to hell. Well, it seemed like hell would have been a better option. And people wondered why I didn't care if I lived or died. All I had to do was some, at least it would have been over. But you can't, whoop.
Powerful.
Y'all play too many games on this show. That's like blaming the divorce on your ex-husband, speaking from experience. And he did X, Y, and he did X, Y, and Z. But let me just have a moment of #real talk. I cheated on this man. So I could either admit, and who wants to say that? I'm like, let's see, you cheated, you were married, you're definitely going to hell. #things left out the book. I think I left it out the book. I'm not sure. And mind you, I did say ex-husband, so everybody that's taking notes, just know it's, take that note too. So I can't truly blame his possessive and psychoness on him because I cheated on him. It was like an endless cycle. You act crazy, I'm a up something crazy. I'm a up the crazy. Because #real talk, I ain't got to leave the house to cheat.
I know that's right.
That's a whole other show.
A whole other show.
I mean, but it's easy. So it's the things that we don't, really want to say and want to talk about, because you going to hell. How can you have God come out your mouth and you was a cheater, a Jezebel? Real talk. That's
While
part of the
continuing to
problem.
keep ourselves in bondage. Yeah, it's part of the problem because we stay in bondage.
Yep.
And let certain people tell it, I've been going to hell. Because I got tattoos. I'm going to hell. You going to hell because your ears said you got tattoos. Well, Lord, I've done so much besides getting tattoos to go to hell. That's the least thing I'm worried about. But what about the person that violated me when I was, 5 and younger? Is he going to hell too, or is that then it goes back to the beginning. That happened so long ago. He's not like that no more. Forgive him. But I can't be forgiven for tattoos.
Right. Yes. Wow.
I got questions. I got questions. So, that time went by fast.
Yes. Wow.
That time went by fast. It went by fast. That's all I could say. It's been, I think I'm going to have to take a nap. I wasn't ready, Lord. I wasn't ready.
To end out. I was going to say for you to end out, Valencia, saying, we've talked about the book, we've talked about the writing process, we've talked about, you being the woman that you are today and overcoming. What advice to that young person that is where you've been and they're thinking that their life isn't worth living? Where you've been, what advice would you give that young person?
That's a good one.
It was, and I don't know that I was ready for that. The advice I would give to a young person, old person, anybody that's still holding those things that happened to them. The advice I would honestly give you is to keep fighting, because if it already happened to you, that means you've already been hurt by it. You can't be re-hurt by it.
Wow.
So keep fighting, because you're still here for a reason, and find something to do with that pain. There's always, and I know it sounds cliche and it may sound a little ignorant and crazy, because when I heard it, I was like, but there is always a purpose behind the pain. Because if you live through something that hurt you, it's because somebody else is dying in something that hurt you. I would say, right. That's like, because to me, that's like, that was my escape. Write it out. Write crying, write screaming, write angry. Write it out, whether you're a writer or not. I'm not saying you have to be a writer, but you have to find that trusted place where you can let it out. Yeah. And I would say just those things. Definitely know that you're here. Like the hurt part is done. Thank God. It's done. So fight to prove the statistics wrong. I don't like statistics. Yes. Don't nobody tell G-Baby what to do. You know? Fight the statistics. Fight against those people that say, oh, you're going to be just like your mom. You ain't going to be nothing. You this, you that. Be so stubborn that can't nobody tell you who you're going to be or what you're going to do with your life but God.
Yes.
And if they have any further questions, they could definitely contact me, and I will put you in contact with people. And I'm a great listening ear of all ages. And just know that there's nothing wrong with you because of what happened to you. So that's my... That's perfect. Okay. That was a hard one. I need to kind of get that one down, because I would have so much advice. Like, let me adopt you and put some fire in you and let you know stubborn people change the world. It's a season of warriors. It's a season of all of those with scars to help those that got wounds. I didn't realize that. I'm scarred up from times I've been wounded, but scars mean that I've healed from my wounds. So I got to realize some people still bleeding.
Yes, yeah.
You know? And we got to be scared to stop, to not show our scars. You know what I'm saying? So many people scared to show their scars because you don't want people to know you ever been hurt. No, you're going to see my scars and my tattoos, so you know I done been around. Okay. Whew, it has been.
And I think
awesome.
that deserves a hashtag amen right there.
The scars and tattoos. Scars and tattoos.
Yes.
You know. So,
great.
Yeah, the first hot seat I could say has been truly hot, like cayenne pepper. If you don't know what that is, go to Google. It's real hot. I think cayenne is a Louisiana thing. I don't know. It's the hot seat. So, Miss Lyvonne, so the audience can reach out and connect with you and stay abreast of all the hot seat. And I am selfish and everything, Lyvonne. How can they get in touch with you?
You can follow me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Lyvonne Copeland, and also my website, www.lyvonnecopeland.com. Follow me on social media. We are in the midst of the 45-day live challenge on the road to 45 with the I Am Selfish movement. Everything's easy because it's just my name, Lyvonne Copeland.
And she is going to post that information on the Find You Radio page where you guys could find that, connect with her, and hashtag I Am Selfish. And guess what? That is perfectly fine with me. Shannon, Shay Dawn. How can the audience connect with you and find out more about you?
You can reach me on my webpage, www.shaydawnmusic.com. Facebook, you can look me up at Shay Dawn. Instagram and Twitter at The Real Shay Dawn. Periscope as well as The Real Shay Dawn. Google Shay Dawn. Just put in just Google Shay Dawn, you'll find me. I promise you'll find me. YouTube, Shay Dawn,
I know,
you'll
that's
find
so
me.
simple. That's like, just Google. Click on something that got my name on Google. You're going to find me. I love it. I promise that's like the easiest way now. That's the easiest way.
Yes, absolutely.
It is.
You can find me there every day.
And of course, everything #fly and she fly, so we have three great movements on one show. It is truly the hot seat. We got #I'm selfish, #fly, and #define you. Y'all know it's going to be some foolishness going on, but real talk foolishness. Like we're going to be talking real stuff. So if you have any, and Shannon, make sure you post that on the Define You Radio Facebook page too. Guys, I want to know how you enjoyed the hot seat. If you have any topics you would like us, 3 queens and a mic, to discuss, go ahead and drop it in my inbox, Shannon's inbox, Lyvonne's inbox. Let us know how you enjoyed tonight's show. It has been a truly unexpectedly great emotional journey, writing the book and the show. And the show. And maybe one day we'll tell you how the hot seat started, but we'll save that for next time. What did I say earlier? Accidentally on purpose. Accidentally on purpose. Shannon is a name and name.
It happens when you think out loud. I was just thinking out loud.
Yes, that'll definitely be a discussion to when you are with people that want to see you succeed, make sure you be mindful when you think out loud. So with that being said, guys, pens and papers down, class is officially over. Until next time, remember your past doesn't define you, it gives you definition, and it's up to you what you do with that. Have a great night.
Thanks for listening to Define You Radio. Make sure you connect with the show at www.defineyouradio.com. Pens and papers down. Class dismissed.
Required listening with Amazon Music.
Dad music again?
The greatest guitarist of all time.
Wait, who?
Alexa, add this song to a new playlist.
Sure, what's the new playlist name?
Jack's Intro to Classic Rock.
Adding Stepping Stone by Jimi Hendrix to Jack's Intro to Classic Rock playlist.
Amazon Music, the simplest way to listen to the music you and soon he will love. New customers start your 30-day free trial at amazonmusic.com. Renews automatically, cancel anytime. Required listening with Amazon Music.
Dad music again?
The greatest guitarist of all time.
Wait, who?
Alexa, add this song to a new playlist.
Sure, what's the new playlist name?
Jack's Intro to Classic Rock.
Adding Stepping Stone by Jimi Hendrix to Jack's Intro to Classic Rock playlist.
Amazon Music, the simplest way to listen to the music you and soon he will love. New customers start your 30-day free trial at amazonmusic.com. Renews automatically, cancel anytime.